guys can hold hands. I grew up, with cousins like sleeping on the same beds and stuff. It's really in the West that I find that things are very sexualized.
When you go to club, so the guy have to dance more sexually for the girl to kind of choose who they like.
My name is Ian Alexander Tokozani Kanyuka, and I am from Malawi.
My name is Mina, and I'm from Sudan.
Hi, I'm Virushka Mangru, and I'm from South Africa.
My name is James, I'm from Nigeria.
Hi, I'm Nadia and I'm from Rwanda.
Would you say your country is sexually open?
No. We are very conservative when it comes to sex. Even right now, I feel weird saying the word sex that many times and out loud. So
Yes, we are open. I think the guys' perspective, they are more open than the girls. So the girls will not talk about it, but they do it more than the guys, I guess. I'm joking. The girl want the guy to display more kind of sexuality. For example, when you go to club, so the guy have to dance more sexually for the girl to kind of choose who they like the most. Maybe the way he kind of twist his waist and stuff like that. So it's more focused on the guy to be more sexual than the girl.
We want to see that dance, Jake.
With South Africa, traditionally, yes. I think modern society has taken over, and no, we very sexually open.
Basically, it's forbidden if you're not married, and when you are, it's to just make a baby.
oh my God.
So
In Malawi, I'd say they're more traditionally conservative, but we don't really necessarily need to talk about it. It's more like a private thing between you and yours.
Which is the most considered sexually open?
I would say South Africa for sure. People talk about condoms, the usage of condoms very openly. And the fact that, say, same-sex marriage is legal, a lot of things that are taboo in other countries are okay in South Africa.
When they talk about most sexually guys, I would say they focus more on Nigerian guys. But for the women, I would say South African for sure.
Jeez, what do you think of us?
I would say it's Nigeria just because that's who I know more of. But now that I'm hearing this, maybe South Africa too, but I'm gonna go with Nigeria because that's what I know.
When I went to South Africa in university and I saw that, okay, they have condoms in the bathrooms, that was like, wow.
I don't think Nigeria have condom in the washroom. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't believe in it.
No, they believe in it though, but I just think sex for Nigerian is very different. Say even in the music thing, they will be talking very sexually in it, but you have to get to some certain age to know that it's very a real dirty thing they were saying.
I would say it's the same in my country. Sex is very implicit, it's implied meaning. If you listen to songs, even songs from way back, you will hear some songs and you will not know that they're actually talking about, the real deal.
Sometimes they can explain how they're gonna do you, what they're gonna do. It's there's a song called Do Me. I like the way they do me. So it's a do me is I'm gonna fuck you kind of thing,
That used to be my jam though, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're part of the crowd.
I was 12 singing, if you do me, I do you.
Yeah.
What business do I have singing Do Me as a 12-year-old?
If it's in general, I would think it's Nigeria.
In general?
Yeah.
Nigeria number
in
one?
general, South Africa.
South Africa.
Men and women
Condom
alike.
situation.
I'm gonna put a caveat out there that the part of Sudan that I'm from, the north, is very conservative. The south, not as much, but I'm just speaking on what I know because I'm from the north, which is the same culture as Egypt.
Nigeria are born with sex. They are sexual.
Okay.
It's everything. Their men are on here every second,
Okay.
So at that point, if the men are the one that chase the women, because the women don't chase men, so then I'll say Nigeria should be the first.
No, I do agree that even in South Africa, it's mostly the men that chase the women, and maybe we're not as sexually aroused.
We are very horny.
As very but it is in terms of sex education, about promoting safe sex, about not the actual deed itself, but the education around it. Although when it comes to the deed, maybe Nigeria's got that one. You got it down, hands down.
Like sex education comes in Nigeria with like a kind of how you were raised, your parents, like religious level, right? So if you are born Muslim, I don't think your parents want to talk about, you're Christian, right? So, but like they're just a kind of, Nigeria have different kind of structure, right? So if you are going up, like you have some big bros that they are not part of your family, they will tell you a lot about sex education, so that you won't make mistake. So your parents will not educate you on that because they're taboo to be sitting you down talking about sex. There's like a street neighbor where those big bros will already educate you, all your cousin, everything. They will already corrupt your mind before your parents even know you're already corrupt. So that's our own education. So we don't display it like we are just in it. We are very sexual human beings, you can tell.
Yeah, I think because it's because of our history and because we are colonized by both the Dutch and the British, we had very much like, I would say, a first world education. So we were very much open about these things. Also because we have all these diverse cultures and stuff, it's also spoken within the homes, like the birds and the bees talk. And generally, like the community I come from, it's like almost a no-no before marriage and all of that stuff. Different cultures, it's like obviously different. But I think we are more modernized.
I went to university in South Africa, so it's like already like all of the countries are there. And if I was to rank from my experience, I don't know, like Malawian guys, I don't know, like in South Africa at the time, I would say the most open or sexually active, I would say, is like the Botswanans were the most. Then you'd have a competition between the Nigerians and the South Africans.
Did you know the Nigerian?
Hence,
I know a lot of Nigerians, a lot of homies,
hence our debate, Nigeria versus South Africa.
Yeah, this is happening right now live.
Me, I would stand like Nigerian men are sexually always involved. They were born to have sex. I don't know. Like these people have like 10 kids. Like sometimes they don't stop. Like, but
Okay, but let's stay guided. Let's stay guided. The question was about the country that is the most
open
Yes.
about
Most open
Sexually
about it.
open.
Sexually open
So if you
about
said
it.
that it's one faction of
It's more-
society
I think
is
it's more guys,
open,
it's more guys, it's more guys.
but then there's a country
So I
where
agree with
both
this.
members
So both men
of
and
society.
women.
So I would say
Yeah.
South
Yeah,
Africa.
I'd say,
Okay.
yeah.
So, thank you.
So we're traveling to South Africa now.
Recently, there was a bill that was blocked by the parliament that was supposed to be about like having more sex ed and reproductive health education in, I think, high schools, but it was blocked. It was blocked because people are like, why should kids be talking about sex? Why should kids have access to condoms? But then in most African countries, it's not just in Rwanda, but in most African countries, we actually have a big number of underage girls that become like teen mothers, And that's, one, because of rape, because there are older men that take advantage of younger women, but also because there's lack of sexual education. Someone will come and tell you, oh yeah, you only get pregnant when, you're the one on the bottom. If you get on the top, then, and kids can easily be misled. So I feel like we have evolved for sure. There's like a little bit more than it used to be before, but I think in my country, we still have a long way to go.
So it's hard to like speak about sex education in a specific way when you talk about Nigeria. But in general, I would believe like there's a way like your parents will have, but they scare you towards sex more than the way they will educate you. So they will say if you touch, a gay boy touch you, you'll be pregnant. So then you run away from the boy. You don't want a boy to touch you. So growing up, those kind of ideas happen. So about this new generation now, they are more like advanced, like a westernized. So they understand what it is. But I don't think they promote more condom in Nigeria in reality, because when you want to sexually involve with a person, you believe like that person is safe. Because if a Nigerian man want to be with you, he don't want to know of your body count. So if there's small body count, it's gonna move away.
We still have traditional ways of parents talking about their kids
Yeah.
about sex,
Yes.
like say teaching them to wait until marriage, but also aunties to their nieces, teaching them like some sexual practices that they can do as they prepare for womanhood.
What about LGBT?
LGBTQ.
Okay, that's a tough one.
With South Africa, very open about it, very proud about it. We were one of the first countries in 2006 to recognize same-sex marriages, and we're just very open about it. It's not a taboo subject whatsoever in South Africa.
Based on what I know, based on my understanding, when I used to live in Nigeria, there's nothing like that. We don't understand like LGBTQ because there are some people that guys sleep on the same bed together. In Canada, it may be a different perspective. So guys shower together, they can be like 30 guys showering together back. So when I was living in Nigeria, I don't have idea of LGBTQ. So there's nothing like that. Like they don't talk it out. But when I went there like 2021, I believe I've seen guys in Lagos kissing each other and they were together. So at that point, there's a gap of like an openness. That is my best knowledge.
I'd say in Malawi, in my country, I think you can actually be arrested for being homosexual. Like, I remember there was some couple who actually got arrested not too long ago, like maybe 10 years ago plus I'm talking about. But I haven't been home in a long time, but I feel like even just talking to anyone in any community about like LGBTQ plus or whatever, it's kind of like,
the mass of the country hasn't understood yet that, you know, it's okay, or like that, you know, gay people have rights. So it's still in the development, but I love that it's not illegal. So no one can come arrest you because, you know.
So in Sudan, it actually is illegal, and you could be sent to jail or be killed in jail as well. It's non-existent there. Even in Canada, like if you were also like part of like the community, like parents have shunned their kids that did come out. It's still very frowned upon.
I would agree to that in Nigeria. If a girl come out to the parent, okay, I'm lesbian. So first of all, they might think that she's possessed or something like that. So the understanding there would be like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know, what are you talking about? So there's no concept in that kind of culture that tell people like a woman would like a woman. Like I grew up being innocent about this because when I was in Nigeria, like I don't know guys like guys, but when I come to Canada, the first time I went to church, like I went to club, I went to Church Street. So I didn't know it was like LGBTQ. So I was dancing with this guy, like, you know, sending different message and he's liking me. And I can know because in Nigeria, you know, guys and guys dance together. The functionality of Nigerian guys, you can be like LGBTQ too.
Oh boy.
They all guys, 2 guys, 5 guys will sleep on the same bed with their bosses. So, but to them, they are still straight. Maybe there's thing in them that they haven't figured out, but they always like, and guys always move together a lot, and girls move separately.
Actually, affection, where it comes from, is mostly shown like in same-sex, like friendships, like platonic relationships. You know, guys can hold hands. I grew up, you know, with cousins like sleeping on the same beds and stuff. So it's really in the West that I find that things are very sexualized, especially showing like physical affection. It's a very sexualized thing. I think it's wrong. We should allow people to like love on each other without really having to read into it.
Guys and guys, they used to dance together like in Nigeria. So it's a thing like part of it is like the girl would like look and say like, okay, wow, this guy can dance or this boy. But if you do it over here, I think there will be like a different kind of interpretation.
Yeah, like girls love it when you can, you know, like
twist,
like you know
but it's just so fun. Like everything that is right in African is always wrong in Western world, and everything that is right in Western world, I think is wrong in Africa.
Like, you know, in the animal kingdom, like a peacock, he shows his, you know, all the male. They show their bright colors. Like for me, like growing up, if I just got into the middle of a circle and just start, you know, whining. You know what I mean? Like gyrating. You know what I mean? And all the girls love it. Like it's like really that was like the one stage I can shine. Like if I don't do anything else, if I don't do anything else, I can get some girls just because I know how to move my body.
Gyrate.
You know what I mean?
I think you need to show the Canadians how it's done.
You need to like, you know,
Do it.
call me later.
Sure.
I'll show you.